This is the Fenix LR35R flashlight. So I'm going to tell you about this thing, show you what I use it for, and we're going to actually go out into the field at night and give it a test as well. But let's open it and take a look. Right, it comes in its kind of little holster that you can use if you wish. I don't actually use it myself. I primarily use this thing for coasteering, which is actually an adventure activity exploring the coast, and I need a very bright torch for exploring sea caves. And this was an upgrade from torches I'd used previously, and I must say I'm just absolutely blown away. This thing is so bright, it is ridiculous. So as I say, there is the holster that I don't personally use. Okay, I use the provided leash, and in my case I'm wearing a buoyancy aid when I go coasteering, and I attach it and it lives in my pocket, and then I can just bring it out when needed. Okay, it is quite weighty. That's the first thing you're going to notice. So it weighs 239 grams excluding the battery, so it is a bit of a lump. When I chose this one, actually Fenix do a 15,000 lumen torch, which I believe is getting on for twice the weight. So as I'm out sort of exploring, I just didn't want to carry that much weight. This is a good compromise, and it's still 10,000 lumens. And whilst I haven't done the test, I wouldn't even know how to do the test, I think the claims are spot on. It's ridiculously bright. So operation is very, very simple. It's just got the button here, so we long press that. So it's got 5 different stages of brightness, so I'll try not to sort of shine it directly at the cameras, but there we go. That's the brightest setting. This thing literally casts shadows in daylight. It's so bright. We're obviously going to get a good look when we take it out in a minute, okay? So it's easy just to cycle through the power levels. Okay, and yeah, just long press to turn it off. The major disadvantage of this thing, because it's so bright, it actually gets really, really hot very, very quickly. So the higher power setting you've got it on, the faster this thing is gonna heat up. I can't emphasize enough, it does get very, very hot, so you need to take that into account. It kind of works well with what I'm using it for. I'm using it in the water, so that's a good way of cooling it down, keeping the thing cool. You really must be aware of that. Okay, it's even got a little symbol on it that says hot. Okay, so Fenix themselves are well aware of it, but it's just the nature of producing this much energy in such a small little handheld thing. So I mentioned I use it for coasteering, and that's actually a really, really good testament for how rugged this thing is. It's got an IP68 rating, means it's fully dust proof, and Fenix say it's waterproof up to 2 meters, but 2 meters for half an hour, I believe. But you know, I will regularly take this thing out for several hours at a time. Coasteering includes jumping off cliffs into the water, so it's getting a lot of sort of sudden, you know, shock and pressure, and this thing has held up really, really well. So yeah, if you know, whatever you're thinking you're going to be using it for, it's not, you know, it's not rated for diving, but anything short of that, it's probably gonna give you a long life. So yeah, it's really rugged and robust. You can just feel it. It's sort of chunky, anodized aluminium, I believe. And Fenix, the reason I sort of found this one in the first place, I've been using Fenix head torches for a number of years for sort of caving and mine exploration, so they're a good, solid, reputable brand. The one feature you really want to acquaint yourself is the lock button here, the lock function. So just double click that when it's off, and that will lock it, and that's really useful to ensure that when it's in the bag or in any kind of storage, it doesn't turn itself on. Again, with the heat it could generate, if you were to leave it on full beam in a bag, it could possibly ignite. Okay, so I've locked it. If I just try and long press it now, it's just going to give like a dull little flash. It's not going to light up, and that's just going to let you know as the user the lock button is on. So we'll just unlock that again. Okay, and now we can turn the thing on. It always seems to start with a flash. Okay, obviously a flash is pretty standard with most torches, but really, really useful if you were outside and needed to attract the attention of others, i.e. some kind of emergency. Before we go outside, I am really, really blown away with this thing. For the size, as I say, it's quite heavy, but for the amount of power you get out of this thing, it really is an absolute beast. Let's go out into the dark and give it a look. So I'm here in the field, giving this thing a test in the field, literally. I'm actually at a stone circle. It's about 4,000 years old, but I thought it'd be a good place to demonstrate the throw of the torch. Obviously this one is right next to me, it's only a few feet away, but then as we shine it around, we can see how this torch behaves. So this is actually on the dimmest setting right now, okay? So on its dimmest setting, yeah, we start to struggle really to really get anything useful on the far side of the stone circle. Well, let's turn it up. So this is setting 2. This is already pretty good. We can see fairly clear the edge of the stone circle, and you can make out, or at least I can, you probably can't see on the video, the hedge behind. We'll turn it up another notch. It's getting pretty bright now. It's pretty rubbish weather out here tonight, actually. I've been waiting for a while to do this, and this is as good as it's gotten here in the winter. Okay, let's go one more. Okay, so, you know, that's pretty much illuminating the entire interior of the stone circle. We can now clearly see the hedgerow at the back, and then finally, that is the brightest setting, and that is, yeah, that is a whole lot of light. So really, really bright torch. Okay, so that really does deliver. I have no doubt that is the 10,000 lumens they're saying on the box. So yeah, get this torch, it's an absolute monster.